Hey, ladies, let me get this pulled up. I am slacking. I need to get this pulled up and make sure that you guys can hear me. Say hello if you're watching this live. I'm just going to pull this up really quickly and make sure that the audio is working okay. Give me a second. There's a little bit of a delay, so it takes a second to make sure everybody or that it's working. Perfect. We are golden. Say hello if you're watching live. Let me know how your Wednesday's going. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Another day at T-ball, so you guys get the wind-blown version of me. But I'm excited to be hanging out with you tonight. Like I said, I hope things are going really well. Just moving stuff around so I can see my screen. But again, say hello. Let me know something good that's happening. What's some celebrations that we have going on? My computer's doing this weird thing where it won't pull up what I want it to. There it is. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I didn't know you were going to get serenaded tonight too. But welcome in. Say hello. Let me know if you're watching this live. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Wednesday. It is windy here. Just got back in from T-ball practice again. These next several Wednesdays, you guys are going to be catching me after T-ball practice. So be prepared to catch me windblown and all, but keeping it real, keeping it authentic for you guys. How's your Wednesday going? Those that don't know me or that are new to my space, thank you for being here. I am Alexandria. I am a women's worth empowerment coach. I am here just to help you believe in your worth, believe in yourself. That is the foundation for everything in my coaching space. Once we build on that foundation of worth, then we work on your confidence, and then we help you to step into alignment by building that resilience and help you to chase those desires, those dreams, whatever that might be. Maybe it's becoming a CEO. Maybe it is just being the best version of a mama or a wife or just the woman that you're meant to be. That's what this space is for. That's why I created it. Just a safe space for us to hang out, for me to provide as much value and just breathe love and life into you. So thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to be in this space. And let's dive in. And first, I feel like I need this. I just want us to start with a deep breath, set the ground ourselves a little bit. I feel like I need that to just get my brain to slow down for a second. It has been busy non-stop. It seems like for forever now. So just taking a moment to pause together, because I know if my brain is going 47 different directions, yours is too. And so this moment's for you. This space is for you right now. All right. This conversation tonight is going to be for the woman who is stuck in her head. You are doing the things, you're wanting to do the things, you know you're capable, but you're so caught up in the overthinking and the what ifs and the where do I even start and getting so overwhelmed by the big picture that instead you end up doing nothing. All right, this is the live for you tonight. And I know I had posted in my group earlier this week, just polling you guys to see what you're needing. And that's what came up is like just how to get going, how to get moving, how to get past that overthinking phase. And something that I have learned in a lot of the mindset work that I've done myself, in the books that I've been listening to, is how much of our overthinking and our overanalyzing and our perfectionism, how much all of that ties back to fear. Like fear is such a deciding factor for all of this, right? And fear is that thing that our brain, like it's hardwired into us, it's there to keep us safe, but more often than not, it just gets in the way. So we're going to talk about that tonight, all right? But I want you to know that you are not the only one feeling this way. You are not the only one that has these big dreams, feeling overwhelmed with the what ifs, the hows, and just getting stuck. All right. It doesn't make you broken. It doesn't make you unmotivated. It makes you human. We are all human in this space, and it just makes us human. It means you're carrying a lot, caring too, but carrying a lot emotionally, mentally, and maybe even spiritually, right? And I've been there, and I get stuck there still sometimes. So let's talk about how to go from being stuck to moving forward anyways. And again, say hello. Even if you're catching this on the replay, drop hashtag replay for me. Let me know if you're ready to dive in. Drop a me if it sounds like you. If you feel like I am speaking right to your heart tonight. But the first thing I want to talk about is how overthinking feels like planning. Okay. It feels like we are just, making all the right moves, thinking everything through, putting that big game plan together. We're just thinking, right? But it's not. We think we are being productive when we're thinking about it. But something that I even had to face, starting this coaching business and a few other things, is more than planning, you're thinking to avoid starting. And I want you to wrap your mind around that for a second. You are thinking to avoid starting. It's your brain's way of getting in the way, your fear getting in the way. Overthinking can be so sneaky, right? It convinces you that you're making progress, but in the end, what's really happening is you're just replaying that fear loop over and over and over again. So for example, back when I first decided to start working out again, it was after I had been cleared after having my second kiddo. Like I got stuck in this fear of where to start. Like I researched, I bookmarked workouts. I am struggling with my words tonight, guys. Struggle bus. I followed, all the fitness pages, fitness gurus, found these ladies that were absolutely fit, but I never actually started. I never got the motion and got the action in motion. And then at nighttime, I would go to bed so disappointed in myself because another day had gone by and I hadn't started. I had come up with one more excuse. I found one more plan that maybe it would work, right? And it wasn't because I didn't want to do it. I did. I wanted to get in shape, but I had made it too big in my mind. Following these women that are super fit and in shape and doing amazing jobs with their bodies, you get stuck, or at least I did. You get stuck on what that end goal is. You get stuck on what that end transformation is going to look like. And that's what I did. I had turned that one workout into this entire big transformation. And because of that, that pressure that I was putting on myself kept me frozen. We don't take action because we're lazy. All right. We don't take action because we have made it this big, overwhelming thing or we don't even start, right? So instead of lacing up my shoes, picking up the weights and just getting started, I would tell myself I need a better plan. And because of that, I stayed stuck. I didn't put it into motion. But when that changed was when I was finally like, you know what? I'm showing up as myself, imperfect. If I get 10 minutes into this workout and I need to stop, that's fine. That means that next time I'm going to push for 11 minutes. That means next time I'm going to push for 12 minutes. All right. And with that consistency, when I finally decided to get out of my own way, now my workout routine is part of my morning routine. Like it's a must for me. It is one of my non-negotiables. And I say that lightly. I still take care of myself. Like this morning, I had to do some stretching instead. I am learning how to walk in platform heels. Y'all, this girl has went from tennis shoes to trying to learn how to walk in heels, and it has been rough. And my knees, I woke up this morning and my knees hurt so bad. So I was like, you know what? I got to take care of me too. I've got to take care of my body. So that being said, listen to your body, listen to you, listen to your gut. It knows what it's talking about. I still have to take care of me, but part of my morning routine now, because I did get started, because I started showing up consistently with discipline, that's every morning something that I do. Okay. But it took getting past that fear, moving past that fear, and getting started. But when we don't, why? Let's talk about why that's actually hurting you more than it looks, more than it's helping you. All right. This isn't just about the missed workout. This isn't just about your missed social media post, your missed blog post that you didn't write. All right. It goes a lot deeper than that. It goes a lot deeper because every time you overthink and stall, you break trust with yourself. You're going to start questioning if you're actually the kind of woman that can show up and follow through. Because in your mind, time after time after time, you've made an excuse, you've put it off. so you don't follow through anymore. And that's what you've told your brain. That's what you've wired your brain to believe. Our brain is so powerful. And I talked about this again like last week, how powerful our mind is. And that's one of the things. You have wired it to believe that you're not capable, right? And when you do that, your brain believes it. So then when you go to take the action, you're stuck in inaction because that's what your brain is telling itself. And because of that, you start playing small, not only in your dreams, but in everyday choices. All right, you stop raising your hand. Maybe you stop speaking up for yourself. Maybe you stop asking for more or asking for what you want. And it comes back to deep down, you're afraid you're not going to finish. That if you get excited again and make a plan and tell people about it, then you're just going to fall off again. And one thing that I have learned on this journey, more specifically into my coaching, is, and like I know a lot of your big gurus talk about it. Tony Robbins talks about it. Eric Thomas talks about it. Is don't tell people your big plans, because more often than not, those are going to be the same people that get inside your head, and then that's the voices you hear. Like I've had to be very careful who I share what my big vision and what my big plan is. Inside this space, I know this is a safe space. So I share a lot with you guys because I want to make sure I'm showing up authentically and being vulnerable with you guys. But you have to be very, very cautious as to who you let into your circle. Hey there, Alice. You have to be careful who you're sharing your plans with. Make sure it's somebody that's going to support you and support your vision, because not everybody's going to. Like even this pageant journey that I'm on, I've been very careful and very selective as to who I tell that to and why I'm doing it, like what my vision is for this pageant. Ladies, I'm not just doing this pageant just like for the crown. That's not what I'm doing it for. One, I'm doing it for you guys because I'm constantly coaching, showing up regardless of the fear that's in the way, taking action, right? And for me, like this is pushing me beyond my limits, and I'm so thankful for it. But I'm also like doing this for me because for so long, I've let those voices of you're not worthy, you're not capable, you can't do this, be my boss and keep me small. So I'm doing it for me to prove to myself that I deserve to take up space. And with that, I've been very careful and very selective as to who I tell why I'm doing this to, because those same voices are going to creep back in if I don't. So be very careful who you're sharing your plans with, who you're sharing your dreams with, because it takes building up this resilience and building up this confidence in yourself to be able to fight that inner voice in you where it's at and be like, no, you don't belong here. Right. And then very quickly, those dreams could become crushed. And I feel like I just went way down a rabbit trail, but that was what was on my heart as I was talking about that. Over time, it's not the dream that you stop believing in, right? It's you. You stop believing in your own ability to carry it through. When you show up, or rather don't show up and don't consistently follow through with your plans, then you start doubting yourself. You start doubting that ability that you have to finish what you've started. And then that's where that disappointment, that real quiet disappointment that settles deep lives, right? It's not the kind that is loud, but instead it really sits inside of you. And it sits with this heaviness and it gets harder to carry. And I only say that because I felt that. I know what that feels like. And I still feel it sometimes. What I have learned though, through this process, through this journey, through the inner work that I have done on me, is the longer you delay, the louder that inner critic becomes, the more power you give to her. She doesn't just stop talking and whispering in your ear when you wait. She gets louder. She gains more evidence that you can't trust yourself. That is why it's so important, ladies, to take actions. And I don't know if you guys saw it or have seen it. I know a big thing right now, especially at least in the coaching world, and I've seen a lot of my other friends take action on it, is ice baths in the morning. And at first I was like, that's such a crazy idea. Like, why? First of all, when I get my showers, they are scorching hot. Like, nobody likes my water because it is scorching hot. So I can't even imagine an ice bath. Like, even just the thought of it makes me cringe. But the thought process behind it is, at least for like Tony Robbins, I know he talks about it, is when you take action and when you force yourself to do something like ice bath first thing in the morning, and you just get in and you get that action done, and then it starts wiring your brain that you can do the hard things. You're going to take action on it. And that's what it takes, is rewiring your brain to believe that you're going to take action regardless of the fear, regardless of whatever's coming up. You're going to take action anyways. So the good news is that story that you've been telling yourself, it's not permanent, right? It doesn't have to take this huge transformation to change it. All it takes is one small shift, one moment of deciding that you're going to follow through on whatever you decide to do. So what keeps us from trusting ourselves? We don't just wake up not trusting ourselves. That gets built up over time. And it's usually from making a cycle, or it's usually a cycle rather, of making promises and then not following through, not keeping them. Maybe that sounds like, I'll start Monday. I'll start next week when I'm feeling better. I'll start next week when I'm not as busy. And let's be honest, that's never going to happen. Maybe it sounds like I'll be more consistent this time. I'm going to get serious about this. But then we burn out. We get scared. Let that stinking thinking kick in. We start strong and then we fall off. So in turn, what we're doing again is we're telling our brain exactly what it was already thinking. See, you never finish. Don't get your hopes up this time. Just stay comfortable. Stay where you're at. And it's not about willpower either, ladies. All right. And if I'm dropping value for you, let me know. Drop value in the comments. If this is speaking to you, even if you're catching this on the replay, make sure you drop it in the comments for me. But it doesn't come down to willpower. It doesn't come down to discipline. It's because you have attached failure to even starting. All right. And so with that, what's changed for me is I stopped trying to prove that I could do everything, and rather took a step back and started to prove I could do one small thing consistently, right? Back to the working out story. Showing up every morning, set my alarm, get up, do my workout. And I didn't even start in the mornings. When I first started my workouts, it was in the afternoons. But every day, set time. At that time, that's when my workout was, right? And then with that, I've now moved it to mornings because that's when it's quiet. That's my time. It's an hour before everybody else wakes up. And I know I'm not going to get interrupted. And let's be honest, cardio and having two kids say mom, mom, mom at the same time just adds to the cardio. And it's already hard enough without that. But showing up consistently, setting my alarm, getting disciplined enough to show up every single day, it rewires your brain. Right? My other is I get up and do my devotional every single morning. I spend time with God every morning. And in gratitude, 3 things I'm grateful for every morning. But because I started, and when I started, it wasn't as consistent. But once I started and got into that routine, the more consistent it's come. And it's just proven to my brain that with action and with consistency, I'm going to show up and do what I say I'm going to do. I have been reading and listening to, I don't have time to sit down and read, but I've been listening to Mel Robbins. She's my newest book. And I looked at the title because I wanted to share with you guys before I started, and I forgot already. But she talks about movement and action. All right. She says the key isn't motivation, because motivation comes and goes. If we rely on motivation, and you hear this a lot with your motivational speakers too, if you rely only on motivation, then as soon as that motivation runs out, you stop working, right? You stop doing whatever it is you say you're going to do. Like, I love motivational videos. And a lot of times while I'm doing my workouts, that's where I'll listen to them, because what better way to get pumped up than to listen to just some good, powerful motivation, something to gut punch me every time and get me out of my own head. But what happens when that motivation runs out? So what she says is it's not about motivation, rather it's movement that we need. So just doing it before your brain talks you out of it. Okay. And again, I go back to the ice baths that I was talking about a while ago. That was a lot of the research that went into that too, is jumping into that ice bath and then you're training your brain. You know what? We're just going to do it. But you don't need to focus on the whole plan. All right. You don't need the perfect routine. You just need the first 5 minutes of action. So something that I know my mindset coach talked about is if you're having a hard time taking action, maybe you're stuck in a rut, lacking that motivation, set yourself at a timer for 5 minutes. And you are going to use that 5 minutes, like have yourself a list of things you want to get done. This is what I'm doing in this 5 minutes, non-negotiable, I'm going to do it. Start taking action. During that 5 minutes, that's what you're doing. Okay. And then again, when we're talking about your goals, your plans, whatever that might be, whatever that looks like for you. All right. Mine, it's my coaching business. I would love to make this my full time with time, in time. That is my goal. But I also know that I've got to start small, right? It's small chunks, a little bit of action every single day. Something that she talked about in her book, Mel Robbins. So it's a book and she's actually kind of letting you into her space with coaching clients, which is really cool. It's kind of fascinating to me to listen to it and try to pick out what I'm hearing and what she's hearing, especially somebody that's been doing it for years. But she was talking to this gentleman and his biggest thing was same thing, fear of getting started. But his was even bigger than that, like fear of getting to the end of his life and not living out the life he wanted, not getting his goals accomplished, not like he set these big expectations for himself. And so what Mel talked about was that's actually really common in just humans in general. And we feel like we're in this race against time. And I know we get, we think about how life isn't promised to us, right? The next breath we take is never promised to us. But sometimes we use that in a way to put this panic and this anxiety and this fear inside of ourselves that we just have to go, go, go. And in reality, we need to take a step back and realize that we are where we need to be in the moment. And that's something like that's a big mindset shift that I have really worked on in the last couple of years is I am where I need to be in the moment, struggles and all, pain and all, good times. Every single bit of it is something that I can learn and implement into my own coaching. Everything that I come across, I can use in my advantage for my life. So it's not that it's a race against time. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't show up with urgency and I'm not still taking the action. But as long as I'm taking action and moving forward, that's what matters. And that's what she talks about too, as she's coaching this gentleman is like, find the one small thing that's going to get you one more step forward. And then once you've accomplished that, what's the next small thing? Don't focus on that big picture. Yes, that's great that that's your vision, that's your goal. But how can you take that big picture and break it into bite-sized pieces so that it's more manageable and it's not as overwhelming? And when you do that and you start taking that consistent action that we've been talking about, you are more likely to get to that goal, less likely to let fear talk you out of it. So whatever it is, especially if you're watching this on replay, right? Pause this for me. And if you're watching it live, come back and watch it again. Pause this for me. What's that one big goal you're working towards? Maybe it's publishing a book. And I know I'm talking to one of you directly when I say this. Maybe it's publishing a book. Okay, that's fantastic. I love that. That is an amazing goal. What is one small thing? Okay, write that goal down. What is one small thing you can do today to get you one step closer? Okay, and then once you accomplish that, what's one small thing you can do next to get you one step closer? Guys, it's not a race against time. All right, it's not a race against who can get there the fastest. And I know in my space, when I see other coaches that are super accomplished, it's so easy to play that comparison game. I would love to be where Tony Robbins is at. I would love to be where some of these other coaches that have been doing it for years are at. But I have to stop and tell myself, they've had to go through these same struggles. They've had to go through the same mindset shifts and pain to get where they're at. If they didn't, they wouldn't be the coach that they are today. They wouldn't have the life stories to tell. They wouldn't be relatable to their audience, right? So same with you, whatever it is, whatever that big goal is, great. You have a big goal. You have a vision. That is important. But what small steps can you take to get you there? Hey there, Morgan. Welcome in. Stop focusing and getting overwhelmed by that big, scary goal and figure out what you can do today to get you there. Okay? You're not in a race against time. It is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Enjoy the journey. Fall in love with the journey. And that sounds so crazy, especially in the hard moments. Especially in the hard moments. But what can you learn even from the hard that's going to get you one step closer to where you want to be? So now let's talk about how. And I kind of went over this. I'm following a script and I got off track. But what I want you to think about, what I want to offer you, is to start small enough that you can't talk yourself out of it. Okay, one small thing that you're like, yeah, I've got this. So if your dream is writing a book, don't start with a deadline. Start by writing 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day. Whether that be you're in the planning phases, maybe you're already through the planning phases. All right, but just 5 minutes a day, set that timer. This is what I'm doing for my 5 minutes. And in time, that's going to get you closer to that goal, right? And that's what you're going for. Small steps. I love seeing you on here, sweet lady. Thank you, Morgan. Maybe the dream is leaving your job. Don't plan the whole exit, right? Start by researching one thing, having one conversation. What is it that you want to do next? I have started following coaches, especially coaches that I really love the way they speak to their community. I listen to audibles now all the time so I can just gain knowledge and just absorb as much as I can, figure out what works for me and my style and is in alignment with me and what's not. And even in following the coaches, there's a lot of things and a lot of the ways that those coaches speak. I'm like, that's not me. But then there's other pieces that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love that. Right? So start those conversations. Start following the people that you look up to. But again, be careful not to get stuck in that comparison trap. Remember, they have been on this journey too. You are seeing where they're at now, but you're not seeing the in-between. You're not seeing where they started. Okay? And maybe the dream is as simple, but just as important as following through with self-care. Taking care of you. Don't go out and buy all the trackers and all the planners. All right? Don't overwhelm yourself in that sense and just add more to your list of things to do. We don't have time for that. But start by doing something that makes you feel cared for today. One thing, one small thing. Again, 5 minutes. And then build on that. And in time, you're going to have this routine set up. And you're going to look back and be like, gosh, I wish I would have started sooner. Your confidence is not hiding, ladies. It's just waiting for you to show up. It's not waiting for you to show up perfectly. It's not waiting for you to show up all at once, but just with one small, easy action. Something that you can show up with today. You are not stuck because you don't have what it takes. You're stuck because you're trying to do it all at once. And that is overwhelming. One bite-sized piece. Again, so if you are catching this on the replay, hit pause for me if you didn't earlier. Write down that one goal that you're working towards. Maybe self-care. Maybe it's being more present with your kids. Maybe it's being more present with your spouse. Maybe it's that you want to become a CEO of your own business. Whatever it is, write that goal down. Fantastic. You know what the goal is. Now, what is one small, manageable piece that you can take today that gets you one step closer? Tomorrow when you get up, same thing. One small, manageable piece. Keep it small. I want you to start today, though, or whenever you're watching this live. Start today, but make the choice to stop thinking and to start taking action. It's never going to be perfect. It's not always going to be easy. But I do want to ask you, what is one thing that you've been overthinking? Drop it in the comments for me. I would love to support you. I would love to know where you're at on your journey. What's one thing that you've been overthinking, big or small, doesn't really matter. Drop it below for me. Let's go ahead and name it. Let's bring it to light. Ladies, this is a space to be honest and vulnerable. It's a safe space for you. But here's the thing, you've got to remember, action doesn't start with a plan. It starts with action. It starts with movement. All right. And ladies, I encourage you, if you are ready to stop doing this alone, hop into my mastermind with me, the Fearless and Worthy Woman. Okay. No pressure to hop in, but I'll be there to support you along the way. It's me giving you that support, helping you to learn to trust yourself again. If that's something you want to talk about, if you want to have a conversation, drop mastermind below for me. All right. And maybe you're not ready for that big step, and that's okay. I respect that. But if you want a smaller, more personalized plan just for you, that is individualized to your journey, drop roadmap, and I'll send you the link for that information as well. All right. Otherwise, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Happy Wednesday. Remember, one small action, 1%. Something I learned in one of the side hustles that I did for a while that's always stuck with me since is 1%. What is one thing that I can do today that makes me 1% better? 1% better every day. So what is one thing that gets you 1% closer to your goal? Go out, go do it. I believe in you. You are worthy. You are enough. I'm empowering you always.